Dynasty Warriors Origins has quite a few different weapon types. And while you'll be forced to use most of them during your first playthrough for rank experience, I want to talk about which weapons are worth your time leveling up ASAP. Not to mention that Ultimate Warrior difficulty introduces some new premium versions of the same weapons that you'll want to get your hands on right away. I wanted to wait till I was done my second playthrough to make this list, and at rank 70 the time is now upon us. Which weapons will rise to the top, and which weapons should you avoid altogether? Let's find out. Coming in at dead last on this tier list is the gauntlets. And I know there's going to be someone out there that's like, hey, screw you, man, I beat Louis Boo with the gauntlets, you don't know nothing. This ain't my first tier list, I'm used to it. But seriously, the gauntlets have the worst reach in the entire game. The heavy attack, then picking which mode just slows you down in combat. And all the battle arts are just kind of lame. There's legitimately only one battle art I'd recommend for the gauntlets, and that's the Stone Strike Blast. It's a nice little frontal AoE move, but man, all the other battle arts are a letdown. I use Maw of the Tiger as a reactionary one for something new. If they attack you, then it triggers, but if they don't attack you, then it does nothing. And I also use Hurricane Kick as my other option. I always keep Palm Strike on all my builds, as a 1 Bravery Interrupt is hard to pass up. And let's just say it from the get-go, I know some Ultimate Warrior challenges offer new battle arts, but since you do need to be in the 70s to even earn them, most of the people playing this game won't ever get to use them. So for this video, it's not worth talking about. Best builds for in-game, though? Yeah, absolutely. At number 8, we have the Lance. There are 3 maximum long-range reaching weapons in this game. The Lance, the Spear, and the Staff. And of those 3, the Lance stands far below the other 2. The attack speed on the Lance is abysmally slow, and it doesn't really excel at anything better than the other weapons on this list. It has infinitely more reach than the gauntlets and a few okay-ish battle arts, which is why it's just barely above the worst on this list. I don't think anyone's favorite weapon is the Lance, and for good reason. Spirit Wave and Relentless Charge are the only 2 battle arts I use on this one. The Charge is kinda good for clearing crowds, as you just bum rush everyone 30 feet in front of you, and the Spirit Wave is your generic quick slash attack we've seen other weapons have. Nothing worth writing home about. Number 7 is the Twin Pikes. I audibly groan every time one of my allies gives me the Twin Pike related challenges. Let me see you kill 300 soldiers with battle arts. Let me see you do 10 perfect Y combos. How about I shove these weapons up your ass? We've got a slow, heavy weapon coming up on the tier list that's actually good, and honestly the way they should be. But this one ain't it. I actually did search the Reddit and Steam forums to see what other people thought about a few of these weapons, and it's pretty unanimous that the Twin Pikes are in the bottom 3 for a lot of people. Double Bite and Roaring Maelstrom battle arts are just okay, but I mean that's all they are, okay. I wish Double Bite either hit harder or had more range, and the Maelstrom seems like a worse version of the other large AoE attacks for similar bravery. Number 6, the Spear. Alright, with the bottom 3 out of the way, we're getting into the middle of the road weapons. Not trash, but not top tier weapons either, which I think perfectly describes the Spear. The second weapon you get in the game is alright. It's fast and has insane reach, but the Spear's problem mainly fails in its crowd control. All of your attacks are directly in front of you in a 45-degree cone. Any enemies coming to your sides or behind you might as well be on the moon, because you're not going to be able to reach them. If there were more wide sweeping attacks or spin battle arts, it would be a little higher on this list. And I know the heavy combo has one singular circular motion, but that's not enough to kill anything past the first difficulty. That being said, Savage Thrust Barrage is a must-have on this weapon. Just an assload of frontal spear thrust that will kill any soldiers in front of you, and probably several points of armor from any officer that's in front of them. Rising Dragon Vortex is another one that I like, but less important than the first one. Number 5, the Staff. If this were an FPS, I'd call this weapon the pea shooter of the weapons. But much like the pea shooter, even though its damage might be low, it still has its uses. Unlike the Spear, it is actually pretty good at crowd control. Hold the heavy attack to do wide sweeping steps, or do the same spin move that'll have you confused for Sun Wukong himself. I honestly think if this did a little more damage, it might be in the broken territory, so safe to say it's not going to get touched for now. Brutal Barrage is such an officer killer that I cannot recommend it enough. Leveling the Staff was super fun and easy. It's not the best weapon, but it's a fun one. Use the Ruinous Wave as a get off me button when you get surrounded, which is more than I could say for the Spear, which was a similar weapon. Number 4, the podao. For all you Elden Ring greatsword enjoyers, have I got a weapon for you. Yes, it's a slow weapon like the lance of the twin pikes, but this is the slow weapon. The little reason this weapon is so high in this list is its battle arts. If it were a tad faster on the light attacks, it would be my number 1 weapon, no question. The Dragon Sweep / battle art is the perfect version of those 2 quick attack moves that other weapons have tried to emulate. But this is the first time it's done well. 2 bravery for 2 heavy damaging slashes with great range. What more do you want? Well, how about Sea of Flames? This one does a frontal fire sweep that interrupts and continually damages officers that get caught in it. Such a great spell, I wish there were on more weapons. And finally, the Blade Typhoon, which says screw this one enemy in particular. 3 very strong battle arts for all situations. Yeah, this one's just good. Number 3, the Crecent Blade. Alright, we're nearing the top of the list, so we're getting into the good stuff now. Of all the 3 maximum range weapons, this one is the best of the 3. Insane range, good damage, and this one is a crowd control weapon. Light attacks are perfect for single target enemies, heavy attacks for large groups. Couldn't be simpler. Star Sunder Slash is another great 2 braver option for single target or small attacks. Dragon Tail Swipe has you spin like a damn blade, killing everything around you. And Azure Dragon Blow is your bread and butter officer killer. I like having access to 1 high bravery nuke in each of my weapons, and when available, this is a top tier one. If you want range, pick this up over the Staff or the Spear. Number 2, the Sword. The first weapon you ever get in the game is one of the top ones. That's a good way to get people invested early on. It might not have the range or stopping power of some of the weapons below it, but it's fast and speed is king on this battlefield. This is actually the weapon that I first used to beat Louis Boo on warrior difficulty. Mad Blade Rush is another 2-costed bravery that is just great to spam. It's great on a group of enemies, and it's great on a single officer. And that's what makes it so versatile. Divine Eagle Dance is another nuke that is just absolutely insane during officer fights. I have Falcon Fury on as another single target move, but honestly you only need the first 2 in your build. This is a flex slot if you can play around with it. Number 1, the Wheel. My number 1 base game weapon is the Wheel. It has a bit of a learning curve to master. When you throw your wheels at the end of a light attack combo, hit heavy as they return to activate a special move. This is easier said than done, as most of the time an officer will interrupt you, or you'll have 300 enemies on your screen and you won't be able to keep track of them. But once you master the base moves, this weapon is nuts. Triple Tempest is a good officer killer and doubles up as crowd control for those immediately around you. Claw of the Predator is so good at clearing out enemies right in front of you. Anytime you have chariots or horses on screen, this is the move you want to use. Flying Spirit Wave isn't the highest bravery move, but it's flashy and it works well enough for when a single target enemy is there. I know Twin Tiger Blast exists if you want a straight nuke, but at an 8-cost bravery, it's more overkill than anything. And I know Flying Lotus exists as well for more bravery, but I wasn't impressed by it. And in the S tier we have the halberd. You thought there were only 9 weapons in this game, didn't you, you silly little goose? There's actually a secret 10th weapon that only unlocks once you've beaten the game. So it's a New Game Plus weapon only. And it makes sense that this one's locked away, because it's freaking broken. Louis Boo's own personal weapon of choice, the halberd. You can buy one at the shop at the end of the game, or defeat Louis Boo in one of the battles before you're required to do so. The Muso Rage mode just straight kills enemies going in and coming out of it, making it the strongest version of it on this list. You really only need 2 battle arts for this one. The Sky Crusher has you leap into the air and slam down, killing a single target officer and all surrounding enemies. And the Hellraiser is your AoE that shoots out shockwaves like the big man himself. If you want to play the game on easy mode, pick this one up fast. And there you have it, all 10 weapons ranked from worst to best. Let me know in the comments below what weapon is your all-around favorite to use. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.